Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Guru podcast. I am your host, Steve Yanovsky. What a glorious day it is to start your path in a new career. Doors are opening here at the Boston Career Institute even as we speak. And I'm here holding the key for you. So tune in, stay sharp, and enjoy yourself. This is going to be great. Hashtag Let's Career Up.
Good day to you, aspiring career gurus, conversationalists, thrill seekers, all across the fruited plain. I am Steve Yanovsky. I am your career guru, reaching out to you once again across the magic of internet to bring you yet another installment of the Career Guru podcast. Over the last few sessions, we've been talking about procrastination. But in reality, what has been the topic of the conversation is success versus failure, or achieving success, all of those things, and what stands in the way of success. So all of this relates to your career growth and achieving your potential and personal fulfillment, financial fulfillment. So let's talk about success versus failure in today's installment, and we'll come back to procrastination yet again and deal with all these topics that stand in a way of us achieving our success, our potential, and so on and so forth. So let's stick with the subject matter and get busy today. Today, I wanted to talk about failure. It's that word that gets bandied around quite a bit. We look at ourselves as failure. Some people tend to point it out to us that we are a failure. Very few people out there tell us that we're a success. In the meantime, let's discuss this as it pertains to every single person, I believe. I don't think I'm being generic when I say that. I do believe that all of these things are, well, they're not really real, are they? Let's address success first and foremost. Exactly what is success? And then we'll talk a little bit about failure. Success is a personal thing. It's not truly objective. It's a subjective concept. And it varies between each person. One person's success is another person's failure. But we do have a few things that kind of make success an objective thing. So what exactly do most people consider success as a success? Achievement of goals, personal, professional. Oftentimes success is defined as reaching specific goals, milestones, personal, professional, academic, financial, all those things, depending on what you want to succeed in. The other part of success, what makes success, is your personal fulfillment. For many people, success is about finding personal happiness and satisfaction. It can be pursuing your passions, developing meaningful relationships, and achieving a sense of well-being. That's personal fulfillment, and it is success. Various people attribute success to contribution and impact that they make on society, on their personal inner circle. It's the things that make a difference that most people, and a lot of people, consider a success. Some people consider personal balance and harmony a success. It's achieving balance between work and home and family life, health, leisure, all those things. Some people look at that as success. Overcoming challenges is oftentimes looked as a success, or it's just a different facet of success. See, it's like different side of success. You can look at it as a prism of sorts, with different angles that when you kind of shine a light through, that breaks up into different colors. That's, all those things that make sunlight. We see it as just something sunny and bright outside, but in reality, it's a bunch of these different colors of the rainbow mixed in, making all of these things possible. And it's that multifaceted prism that breaks apart sunlight and lets us see exactly what's burning on the solar surface. So to get back to the other facet of success is financial stability. Some people look at success just through that particular prism. Hey, I'm happy. I have enough to pay my mortgage, my car payment, my kids' school, my own personal schooling, and so on and so forth. Some people look at that as success. Last but not least, certainly, last in our discussion today, what is success? It's the legacy that you leave behind. Some people look at that, the recognitions that you receive for what it is that you have got. But everything depends on your core values, your priorities, your goals, whatever makes you that person. Now, what exactly then is failure? Some people think that failure is the opposite of success. So all of these things that we just talked about, people look at that as the opposite of that is failure. But is it really true? And is there really such thing as failure? I'm of the opinion that there is no such thing as failure as long as you don't just stop. See, not doing anything is failure. It's just failure. If you think you can't, and if you don't even try, you will have failed already, no matter what it is. But as long as you pursue something, failure is really a non-existent item. It's just not there. So let's break apart failure and what it has. So what exactly is it? Is it not achieving your personal goals? Is it not achieving your financial goals? Is it not having harmony? Is it really all of those things that we just discussed, the opposite of? I don't think so. I don't think so. These are just stepping stones and learning blocks that you can certainly build upon and succeed. But as I already mentioned, as long as you keep trying, you have already succeeded. So what comes out of failure? The first thing that comes out of quote unquote failure is learning and growth. Failure provides incredibly valuable lessons and insights into yourself and others, whether it's personal or organizational, no matter what it is. Each little setback can teach you something new and help you to refine your approach and strategies, providing you just don't beat your head against a closed door all the time. That's not going to lead anywhere. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is certainly not going to get you to where you're going. As long as you extract a lesson from failure or not achieving a specific task, you will see that the success is right there and the lesson is right there. And all you have to do is look at it with a discerning eye, an eye of a person who wants to succeed. So what are some of the first things that people need to learn in order to grow? See, when you first set out to complete a task, and we've talked about this before, you first need to have a plan. And that plan needs to be broken down into multiple components that will allow you to achieve milestones, which are not really a mile away. Let's just first stop on one step. To go from point A to point Z, you first have to get to point B on the way to Z. It just doesn't happen magically. Like the Amazon logo, it goes from A to Z with a little arrow. I don't know if you ever noticed it, but there's in between there's entire alphabet that's there for you, and you need to reach each one of these milestones. So when you're trying to get somewhere and you're trying to succeed, first and foremost, select for yourself a good plan, and out of that plan, put together a viable, reachable goal that is so close you can touch it, and then celebrate the accomplishment of that particular mission that you just set out to do. If you didn't get there, look back and see what happened. Try it again. You're right there. Each little step is the growth potential for you. It's an interesting thing. It leads me to an interesting story about a great athlete. This is a world champion. For many, many years, this man was a champion in pole vaulting. He was from Belarus, and I think his name was Sergei Bubka. Hopefully I got his first name right. In any case, he was the master pole vaulter. These are the guys that use this pole to jump over a bar. And he was so good That was an incredible thing, that sponsors didn't want to sponsor him. Except one sponsor stayed behind him, and that was Nike Shoes. But Nike Shoes thought that they were being tricky. He said, for every new world record, we're going to pay you $100,000. It's very hard to break a world record. But they thought they were going to be funny, and they would sign up this guy who was this great athlete and say, go ahead and break that world record. So what this guy did was he would move the bar each time by 1 centimeter, or maybe even a little bit less. And he would go ahead and make that jump. And that little success cost Nike $100,000. So in 1 year, this guy broke his own world record about 35 times and earned $3.5 million from Nike. What did that make up? What was that made up of? Tiny little increase in the height of the bar. Just a tiny increase. So he taught company executives a lesson, but it's a lesson for us. Set manageable goals and you will win almost every time. And celebrate your victory. This guy celebrated with $100,000 payday for each one of his increases of elevation of the bar by just a hair. Okay, but he did break a world record each time, and having done that 35 consecutive times, he won. Let's take a lesson and a lesson from a chapter of this man's life and apply it to ourselves. Make each result count. Make it a manageable result, something that you can see. All right, I made it. I'm a winner. And off you go. What else is quote unquote failure good for? Learning and growth is one thing, but there's also another thing. Building your resilience. Failing and getting up, just like doing curls with a barbell at the gym. Each little curl increases your strength and resilience. By the time you have bulging muscles after you did a whole bunch of repetitions, again and again and again and again, you will get there. Experiencing quote-unquote failure builds resilience and mental toughness. Overcoming challenges and bouncing back from failure can make you stronger and more determined. But remember one thing, and I say it again and again and again, it's very easy to be beat up. It's not easy to be upbeat. The Career Guru recommends applying all the strength that you have to being upbeat, to staying positive. Okay? Make yourself that promise. Do not be beat up. Be upbeat, and you will see. By the way, medical scientists also say that smiling and being upbeat, just even as a fake-a-rooney, okay, develops certain hormones, certain body chemistry that actually makes you feel better. So having a smile on your face actually causes your brain chemistry to change and have a more positive, upbeat feel to yourself. So smile in the face of failure and you will succeed. So after resilience, we have a few other things that come from failure, or again, quote unquote failure. Innovation and creativity. We take a lesson from Wile E. Coyote. How many of you people remember Wile E. Coyote from the Bugs Bunny cartoons, or rather Roadrunner? That guy failed every time, but he never stopped trying. Innovation and creativity. He even had a business card, Wile E. Coyote Super Genius, and he would come up with these harebrained schemes, and he never gave up. Now, there is a winner. Secretly, I always rooted for the coyote. I wanted that Roadrunner eaten, but, they all succeeded in their own little way. So innovation and creativity. Most successful innovations and creative breakthroughs came from experimenting and failure. If you take into consideration Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, all these people failed countless times before the first spaceship in the United States went into outer space. God knows how many times they blew up on the launch pad. But people really wanted to go to outer space. And so they kept trying and trying and trying, made these changes, made innovation, so much innovation came out of space. Anti-lock brakes in our car came from space research. So all sorts of interesting stuff came out. So failure can lead to all sorts of new ideas and perspective that you may not have considered before. If you keep having success all the time, if everything goes your way, you become stale and stagnant. I mean, it feels good, but what have you really learned? That it's easy to succeed? And what happens if you encounter a tough challenge? And all you have experienced before is a victory, an easy victory. You didn't learn much. So with this in mind, don't be afraid. Just do it. Just do it. Who was it that wrote it? Oh, was it Nike? Yes, I believe it was. I believe it was. Speaking of Nike, Michael Jordan, I believe, got kicked out of his high school basketball team, unless I'm mistaken. It's worth doing some fact checking later on. But if I do remember, if my memory serves me correctly, he was one of those people who got kicked out of high school basketball. Yeah, I think so. What else can we learn from failure? How else can this experience, this seemingly negative experience, help us? Well, you know what? It builds character. Navigating the challenges of failure can develop important personal qualities such as perseverance, humility, patience. These traits are often crucial for long-term success. As a matter of fact, not often, always crucial for long-term success. Perseverance, humility, be humble, not too humble, but be humble. That will allow you to learn from your mistakes and from other people. Well, patience is definitely a virtue. Not all the time, but most of the time. What else is there? What else can we learn? Perhaps one of the most important things we can learn from failure is how to make corrections in the course that we have taken. Hey, maybe we failed because it's not the right path. Sometimes that's something that we can look to. But if you set a very small increment for your first mission, your first goal is so nearby, it's easy to make a change, even into a completely opposite direction. So to make course corrections, a large ship out in sea, it takes them forever to make a turn. But you are a small, maneuverable little boat. Just tug on that steering wheel a little bit, and you made that change. Just like that. So failure oftentimes leads us to make these important changes in either our approach or the direction that we have taken. So this is good. What else can we learn? What else can we achieve from failure? How about motivation and drive? How about that? For many, many people, failure actually fuels their desire to succeed. Yes, absolutely. The experience of failure can indeed increase the determination of a person to achieve their goals. What do you mean I can't do that? What do you mean? Let me share a personal story with you. The guru, when he was in high school, I'm talking about me. When I was in high school, I was a terrible student. I'm not going to get into the details as to why, but I failed my first 3 years of high school. And I ran into my guidance counselor, and he says, well, Mr. Guru, I wasn't a guru at the time, says, looks like we're going to have the pleasure of your company for another year, maybe more, for you to finish high school. And it dawned on me, he said, wait a minute, this man could be right. I failed my first 3 years. Well, I didn't fail everything. I was just, not doing the right thing, as many people don't do in high school. High school is a very difficult experience for many, many, many people. It was for me. And I looked at him, I said, there is no way I'm going to be here more than I am supposed to. But you can't, he says, you can't. There's not enough time for you to take as many classes as you need to graduate high school. You can't. I said, watch me. He told me all sorts of negative things too, by the way. So I want you to know that this experience really ticked me off. I was so incensed and outraged at what this man had told me. I said, you know, no matter what you tell me, I'm going to graduate. Well, I ended up graduating, but what did I have to do for that? I had to go to night school. I took college classes at night, and I filled up every block, including lunch hour and homeroom and this and that, with classes. I managed to finish everything with half a credit to spare. Motivation and drive. Motivation and drive are key. If you want to accomplish something, you will accomplish something, but you have to set these manageable goals for yourself, be able to reach these small, near milestones, grab that low-hanging fruit. It's okay. It's okay to grab the low-hanging fruit as long as you got that fruit. It's in your hand. You're winning. And what's going to happen? I see that beautiful apple on top of the apple tree, but I can't get there. I don't have a ladder. So what am I going to do? I'm going to jump up and down until I get there? No. Grab the long-hanging fruit today. Succeed. Because if your goal is to have an apple, the one that's hanging low, grab it. It's okay. I give you my permission. Setting realistic expectations is what I'm talking about. Setting these expectations. Grab what's near you and succeed rather than try to grab something up on top and fail. Success, accomplishing that task is far more important than reaching for something really high. Oh, well, at least you tried. It doesn't work that way. No, at least you tried doesn't work. What works is setting realistic expectations and reaching your objective. That's really the key here. Last but not least, success stories. You have to listen and learn about people who have succeeded but failed along the way many times. I already mentioned Thomas Edison. I already mentioned Michael Jordan. I can tell you that J.K. Rowling, the person who wrote Harry Potter, suffered indignations and rejections along the way until she became a huge success. Embrace all of these things. Embrace all of these things that we just discussed and reach your potential, but in small incremental steps. You can do it. You can do it. Absolutely you can. And a lot of time, this involves just showing up to where you're supposed to be, showing up to where you're going. I'll tell you another personal story. I remember I was going for a job interview. It was a dark, dreary, late fall day here in New England. And I got dressed to go to the interview. And as I was running to catch the train near my house, I slipped and fell on some slush, and I dove headfirst into a puddle right next to the train. The entire train laughed at me. I mean, I got to tell you, it wasn't funny for me, but I could see smiling faces on the train. Everyone was laughing. I got up. I was looking absolutely hideous. I was completely wet, but I needed to get to that interview. It was a chance, I don't want to say of a lifetime, but it was an important opportunity. I was faced with a prospect. I needed to go home and change or be late to the interview. No, I chose to get in wet and dirty onto that MBTA train. I got to the interview. People looked at me and they said, "What the heck are you?" And I told them that story. And they looked at me and they dismissed the 20 candidates who were after me, and they gave me the job. Actually, it wasn't even the job. It was a very coveted internship that I was seeking at the time I was in college. But the fact of the matter is, I showed up, and I showed up on time. There's millions of stories like that, okay? You would think that at that moment that was a failure right there and then. You could curse the heavens at that moment, or you can embrace the light and do your thing. Just go and show up and embrace all these challenges that come your way. And on that, I'm going to pause this topic until our next exciting podcast that we're going to do to expand on these topics that make you a great success personally, professionally, financially. We're going to get you past that finish line. Together we can. And on that note, I bid you adieu. I bid you farewell. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless you. Together we will succeed.
Well, friends and aspiring career gurus, this was fun. Thank you for tuning in. I feel enlightened, I feel empowered, and I'm feeling grateful that we spend time with you. For more information about Boston Career Institute, please visit our website, bostoncareer.org. Boston Career Institute has 3 campuses located in Brookline, Massachusetts, Malden, Massachusetts, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Call our toll-free number, 888-383-6058. For questions, comments, and or information about our podcast, email me at thecareerguru@bostoncareer.org. The Career Guru podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, bostoncareer.org, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your rating and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment, The Career Guru lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. # The New Radio. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All the best to you. My name is Steve Yanovsky. I am the Career Guru. May God bless you. # Let's Career Up.